when Mr. Narayan Murthy, Honorable Governor, Honorable Chief Minister, they were all guests. Some of you will recall that we had brought a robo to actually come and hand over the policy book. So Telangana over the last 6 years, 7 years has earned a very strong reputation of being that state which pioneers the use of emerging technologies. In fact, just about a week ago, we were the first state in the country to launch a very innovative project called Medicines from the Sky, in which drones are utilized to deliver vaccines, blood, medicines, etc. to remote areas. So we want to remain the prime state in this country which adopts emerging technologies. Cloud has become very important. We did not explicitly mention that in the first policy. At that time, it was still a very nascent kind of an area. But in the last 5 years, we have recognized how important cloud has become. Some of the biggest cloud providers have chosen to make Hyderabad their center for establishing hyperscale data centers, etc. So in this policy, we want to have a very distinct focus on cloud. And ICR representatives are here. They have also set up a center of excellence on cloud. We also want to do more and become one of the leading states in cloud strategy. We know that while Hyderabad is one of the premier cities in the country, there are many opportunities of applying digital technologies for urban living. There are other towns and cities also where greater amount of technologies can be adopted. So in these 5 years, we want to give a very big push to how the quality of living in a city or a town is enhanced using technology. And finally, the role of our own department, the IT department. 6 years ago, when Honorable Minister became the Minister for IT, he gave this direction that typically in a government system, IT department is traditionally seen at the best as an agency which procures hardware and software for you. If you have requirement of some laptops or any devices, just send a requisition to the IT department and they will procure that. But he wanted that to change. He himself took the lead to speak to his colleague ministers, tell them how technology solutions can help them in their outreach, in improving their internal processes. And we want to do that even more in this next 5 years. How do we become a real enabler, a catalyst for all government agencies, all government departments to use more and more and more of technology. So this is a very high-level overview of the IT policy. Before the function ends, please do collect a copy of the policy book. As you saw, the book was unveiled a while ago. Copies will be distributed maybe from that corner, I guess. And it will also be put on our website within the next 1 hour or so. So please do read it. And like any other policy, this policy is also not cast in stone. If you have any ideas on how to tweak it or improve upon it, or if you feel that there is something which we have not emphasized upon adequately, feel free to share your feedback with us. We are always very receptive to industry, to domain experts, to academic thought leaders, and we'll be very happy to take your suggestions on board. Once again, very grateful that so many of you, all these industry leaders, partners, they are here with us today. We'll also be announcing some very interesting projects and partnerships over the course of the next 1 hour or so. So I would like to also thank all of you who will be partnering with us for multiple initiatives in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So that clarifies a question. We are continuing a lot of the things that we had in our first policy. It's a revision with a lot of renewed energy. And as our Principal Secretary was saying, you can go through the policy document and 90% of you sitting over here have our mobile contacts. You can always call us and let us know what you would like to see. We'll always be willing to listen to you. Now, IT is not just about investments. It's a major part of the story, but we have a lot of other things happening within the department. So here we would like to recognize outstanding Grameen e-stores and village level entrepreneurs. I would like to invite Mr. Shankar Nayak, Mr. Ratlavat Shankar Nayak, along with Mr. Raja Kishore, who is the COO of the CSC Grameen stores, on the stage, please. They have done some really similar work in the digital literacy area. Mr. Shankar Nayak has taken up digital literacy programs in 3 villages. Kalkonda village and Brahmanapalli village in Madagul Mandal, Rangareddy district, and Chaudarpalli village in Talakondapalli Mandal. He has trained 550 citizens and certified 452 of them. Request Commissioner Meesevo also to join, please. It's a very important aspect of the state is to create digital literates so they can use all the good work done by the state. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ratlavat Shankar Naik. Now let me invite Mr. Kodakanti Venkanna for his excellent work in the CSC Grameen e-store. He's a rural entrepreneur at Nagaram village in Nagaram Mandal, Suryapet district, and he has achieved a rural e-commerce worth rupees 2.64 lakhs in the last quarter. Usage of technology in the rural areas. Mr. Kodakanti Venkanna. Thank you. Now we go to the next part. The task MOU with Mentor Together. Let me invite Mr. Jean Paul, Associate Director Operations Mentor Together, and the CEO of Task, Mr. Srikant Sinha, to the stage for an MOU exchange. One of the key factors for any company to invest in Telangana or in any destination is the availability of quality human resources. I'd request Mr. Srikant Sinha to exchange the MOU with Mr. Jean Paul in the presence of the Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable IT Minister. One of the key factors for any company to invest in Telangana is the availability of quality human resources. Telangana has created this flagship program called TASK, Telangana Academy for Skills and Knowledge, for creating quality human resources. Mentor Together is India's first and largest youth mentoring organization with a mission to facilitate empowering mentoring relationships and networks for young people from disadvantaged backgrounds. Thank you. Now we are moving on to the next item, the launch of the Telangana Startup Portal. Let me invite Dr. Shanta Tautam, CIO, Telangana State Innovation Cell, along with her team. Manish Jaiswal. And can we request the Honorable Minister and our Principal Secretary to launch the portal, please? The Honorable Minister is about to launch the portal. He has already launched it, the Startup Telangana portal. It's a one-stop destination to avail all the services being provided by the government to startups. It's a unique initiative. All services including registration, grievance redressal, mentorship and incentive disbursement happen through this portal. It's a central place for knowledge dissemination about the state's support to the startups. Thank you. Now we are moving on to the next item, a game video launch. Let me invite Mr. Vishnu Cherikandi, Chief Operating Officer with the Image Center of Excellence, and Mr. Prakash Kamineni, founder of Zigzaco Private Limited, onto the stage to present to you Ardham, one of the game-based learning app developed at our own Image Center of Excellence in Hyderabad. Request the Honorable Minister to launch the portal. Image innovation in media, animation, gaming and entertainment as it stands is a fast-growing sector in Hyderabad. We had several creative and celebrated work happening in Hyderabad, including those of Bahubali, Chota Bheem, Life of Pi, etc. Now I request the Honorable Minister to unveil the game. Please. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Prakash. So a quick note for you. The policy, the second ICT policy is loaded onto our IT department website. And there is a QR code that is placed on your table. You can scan it to access the policy. Thank you. Now we move on to the next item. The National Center on Additive Manufacturing. This is a very important segment in the program. Telangana has been the frontrunner in emerging technologies. Let it be artificial intelligence or data science or machine learning or blockchain or applying drones in real life. Recently, as many of you may have followed, we have launched a very unique project, Medicines from the Sky, in Vikarabad district, under which life-saving drugs will be delivered using drones. Now we are here to announce the National Center on Additive Manufacturing. Let me invite my colleague, Mrs. Ramadevi, Director for Emerging Technologies, onto the stage for conducting the proceedings.
Yeah, thank you, Amar. I hope all of you can see me. So, yeah, just 2 seconds. Yeah, I think this is better now. Yeah, a very good morning to everyone. Well, we have established so far about 5 centers of excellences in Telangana, such as AI, cybersecurity, e-waste, animation gaming, and cloud. And this is the 6th one that we are going to establish in Hyderabad, which is called National Center in Additive Manufacturing, or we are calling it as NCAM, which is going to dot the technology landscape of Telangana. So each of these centers have different funding models, different partners. Some are funded purely by state government, and the others, by other organizations. It could be MITE or industry partners and so on. So this is in partnership between Government of Telangana and Ministry of IT, and industry is also going to pitch in this project in a great way. So the vision of NCAM, just a minute. Wait, how do I? This one, huh? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the vision is aligned with the national strategy paper that is released by Government of India, Ministry of IT. The vision is to position India as a global hub in additive manufacturing, and also to create and protect the IPRs related to the AM industry. The center will build a comprehensive ecosystem in additive manufacturing, covering all the 7 components of the AM chain, starting from materials, equipment, DFAM, and to commercialization. We had about very wide-ranging consultations with various stakeholders across the ecosystem. And these are the 5 pillars that we have identified, core pillars, I would say, starting from access to infrastructure. As you all know, access to expensive printers, materials is actually a barrier for most of the SMEs to adopt additive manufacturing. So the NCAM or the center would actually establish state-of-the-art facility in Hyderabad with access to materials, machines, softwares, and skilled manpower. The second pillar that you can see over there is R&D and innovation, and we all agree that we need to invest a lot in this, in R&D. And here we are looking at the industry, to be part of this R&D innovation. Most of the industry partners have come forward to actually help us on this key pillar. The third one is, of course, new product development and indigenization. We'll be partnering with various incubators, accelerators across the country to actually work in this particular pillar. And as you all know, skilling is an imperative in this sector. And the kind of skilling required for this particular additive manufacturing is so different. So we are actually going to plan on-demand skilling programs, again in collaboration with the industry and academia. Then the 5th pillar is enabling adoption and industry readiness. India is actually capturing less than 2% of the additive manufacturing industry globally. So there's a lot needs to be done, and the NCAM, or the National Center for Additive Manufacturing, will be working extensively in this area. The center that's going to be established in Hyderabad will also leverage Telangana's innovation ecosystem partners, more specifically T-Works, a prototyping center that's going to come up soon in Hyderabad. And also the presence of allied industries such as aerospace, defense, and space tech. Initially, we would be focusing on these sectors, aerospace, defense, space tech, on these technologies to develop prototypes and products in this area. Well, concluding, collaboration will be the key mantra for the NCAM. We want to work with all the key stakeholders and leverage their strengths. So we don't want to really reinvent again. And we had an overwhelming response from all the partners across the system. When our Principal Secretary Jayshanjan Garu has sent out emails, we were flooded with emails saying that we can offer this kind of help in skilling, be it in skilling or training or whatever it is, So I thank all the industry participants who actually came forward to be part of the NCAM. Well, thank you. Now we are announcing the formation of the Governing Council today. Our honorable members are here, and we will also be launching the logo for NCAM. My colleague Saurabh will be taking over the next proceedings. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'll request you to stay back at the stage. And thank you for announcing the formation of Governing Council for the National Center for Additive Manufacturing. I'll request our Honorable GC member, Dr. Tata Narsinga Rao, Director, International Advanced Research Center for Powder Metallurgy and New Materials, RK, to please join on the stage. The areas of collaboration with the RK is the development of new product alloys, product of test and characterization, development of standard, research and development, training and skill development. I request Professor Murthy, Director IIT Hyderabad, to please join us on the stage. The areas of the collaboration with IIT Hyderabad are skilling and training, indigenization of AM components, incubation of startups, research and development activities. Now I invite Shri Rudra Kumar Jadeja ji, Chief Executive, Defense R&D, Kalyani Group, to please join us on the stage. The areas of collaboration with the Kalyani Group are applied R&D, new product design and development, advanced training and skill development. Now I invite Shri Parag Marathe ji, Head of GE India Grid Engineering and Hyderabad Technology Center, to please join us on the stage. The areas of collaboration with the GE is standardization and creating a roadmap for additive manufacturing technology in India, training and skill development activities. Now I invite Shri Ajay Parikh ji to please join us on the stage. Ajay Parikh ji is Vice President and Business Head, Wipro 3D. The areas of collaboration with the Wipro 3D are R&D and new product development, development of standards and advisory for the selection of AM technology and processes, indigenization of AM technology and supply chain, skilling and training to industries for adoption of AM, startup mentorship and technical consultancy. Sorry. The other technical members, other GC members who will be joining for the Governing Council are Dr. S.K. Jha, Chairman and Managing Director, Midani, Shri Arvind Kumar ji, Scientist ji, Head of R&D and MITI, Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra ji, Director, CSIR CGACRI, Professor Craig Banks, Founder and Academic League, Prince City, Manchester Metropolitan University. They couldn't join us for this event. Now I would request our Honorable Minister Shri K.T. Rama Rao ji and our Honorable Chief Guest Rekha Menon ji to please inaugurate and kindly launch the National Center Additive Manufacturing logo.
Thank you. So just when you think that you have a grasp on all the emerging technologies, here comes a new one. National Center on Additive Manufacturing or Additive Manufacturing. Request Ramadev Garu to remain on the stage. Let me also invite Srimati Sweta Kolluri, Head of Experimentation, Accelerator Lab, UNDP India, and Srimati Dibya Singh, Strategy and Innovation Lead, UNDP, for an MOU exchange. And this is a very interesting item. Global food demand is increasing. On the other hand, climate change is causing a loss in food productivity. Together, there is a huge threat to the world. In this regard, United Nations Development Program, the UNDP, and the government of Telangana under the Emerging Technologies Wing have come together to promote some strategies. Under the MOU, both parties will actively promote strategies such as anticipatory governance, policy experimentation, community-centric design, digital public goods, and open innovation. Thank you. The MOU will also facilitate knowledge exchanges and multidisciplinary research collaborations. Thank you once again. We move on to the next item. The launch of T-Face by Photonic Valley Corporation. Let me invite Mr. Venkata Simhadri, Chairman, IESA Hyderabad, Mr. Krishnamurthy, CEO, IESA National Chapter, Mr. Ajay Naini, CEO, Xilinx, Mr. Srinivas Bairi from Intel, and Dr. Madhav Pulipati, CEO of Photonics Valley Corporation, for an MOU. The Photonics Valley Corporation is a very forward-looking initiative which deals with a complete paradigm shift in computing. T-Face, Telangana Fabless Accelerator through Crowd Enablement. Telangana Fabless Accelerator through Cloud Enablement. World's first virtual platform to support the startups in the space of fabless chip design activity. It is the first global virtual platform for supporting the startups in fabless space. The platform is planning to support 50 incubators to begin with and will focus on the third generation differentiator technologies such as photonics and gallium nitride. Thank you. So we have a second MOU between Photonics Valley Corporation and ITE Hyderabad chapter. I request Dr. Madhav Pulipati and Mr. Sujay Karampuri to remain on the stage while I invite Mr. Suresh Raju, Vice Chairman of ITE Hyderabad, Mr. N. Venkatesh, Board Member ITE Hyderabad, Mr. Srinivas Chandupatla, Board Member ITE Hyderabad for an MOU. The industries supporting the platform T-Face include Intel, Micron, Qualcomm, Xilinx, IMEC, Cadence, MOSCHIP, Invecus, Synopsys, and Mentor. The institutions which are involved include T-Works, T-Hub, Task, IIT Hyderabad, and JNTU Hyderabad. Thank you. So we move on to the next item in the agenda. It's a very important item for us. All of you know how Hyderabad IT is emerging, and Hyderabad is now the most preferred destination across the globe, and a lot of credit goes to the industry bodies that are supporting in this endeavor. To start with, I would like to call Mr. Prakash Bodla, Chairman of the Hyderabad chapter of the American Chamber of Commerce. He is also the Executive Head and Vice President, Carrier Technologies India Limited. Request Prakash and his team to come on the stage, please. He's joined by Mr. Shashi Reddy, who is a member of the AmCham, and also by Ms. Sandhya. AmCham is playing a key role in the city. I request our Honorable Minister, along with the US Consul General in Hyderabad, to honor the AmCham team with a memento. AmCham has established a GCC Council, the Global Competency Council, with 50 members in Hyderabad, and all of them are American companies. And the incumbent US ambassador in India is the honorary president of AmCham. Thank you. Now, I'd like to invite Mr. Bharani Arul, President HYCIA, Mr. Srinivas Rao, the COO, Mr. Kiran Cherukuri, the Vice President, Mr. Prashant Nandella, the Secretary of HYCIA, to come on the stage along with the other HYCIA team members. HYCIA has been supporting the government through several CSR activities. They have taken up the IT for TS and collaborated with the United Way and other industry bodies in procuring valuable infrastructure worth about 100 crores for the Telangana hospitals across the state. HYCIA has also been very active in promoting the SMEs in the state through a SME committee created by the government. HYCIA is almost completing about 30 years of its establishment in Hyderabad. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Srikanth Srinivasan, Vice President, Head of Membership and Outreach for NASSCOM, along with Mr. Tanmay Mukherjee, Regional Director for NASSCOM, onto the stage, please. Request our Honorable Minister, along with our Chief Guest, Mrs. Rekha Meron, who is the Chairman of NASSCOM, to present a memento. NASSCOM has been actively supporting the government of Telangana in formulating the ICT policy. The President of NASSCOM is Debjani Ghosh, has been a very active member of the Advisory Council for ICT Policy and Investments in Telangana, and contributed significantly towards the evolution of the second ICT policy. NASSCOM has also been supporting the government in formulating the engineering R&D aspects of the ICT policy. Thank you. Mr. BVR Mohan Reddy Garu, who is on the stage, was an earlier chairman or past chairman for NASSCOM. Now I would like to invite Mr. Krishna Yedula, General Secretary for the Society for Cyberabad Security Council or SCSC, along with his team, to come up to the stage. Request the IT Minister to give away the memento to the SCSC team in the presence of Mr. Stephen Ravindra, Commissioner of Police for Cyberabad. Also request the IT Minister to give away a memento to Mr. Stephen Ravindra. SCSC has been instrumental in running some flagship programs in areas such as women's safety, cyber security, road safety, traffic management, infrastructure management, and business continuity. They have been literally anywhere and everywhere in the community. During the COVID pandemic, SCSC has done a phenomenal job in conducting vaccination drives. As all of you know, they have facilitated work from homes and other programs and have become a very integral part of the community. And SCSC, along with Cyberabad Police and other commissionerates, are a major reason why Hyderabad is today the safest metro as per statistics from the Indian Statistical Bureau. Thank you. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Pratyusha. Now we move on to the next item. The largest employer in Hyderabad, Milestone recognition. I'm sure most of you know who it is. There we go. So we have several companies, including TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, Deloitte, Capgemini, Accenture, Genpact, a lot of you are here. But on this occasion, we would like to recognize TCS, the largest employer in the state in the IT sector. They have crossed the 50,000 employee mark earlier this year, and within a span of another 6 months or 8 months, they have crossed the 60,000 mark. Now they're at 62,000. So on this occasion, we would like to invite V. Rajana, he's already on the stage, Senior Vice President and Global Head Technology Business Unit, TCS, to receive a special recognition from the Honorable Minister. Rajana Garu, please. Mr. Rajana is a member of our Advisory Council for IT Policy and Investments. He is also the past President of ICEA and past Chairman of the local chapter of CII. Thank you. Now I request Rajana Garu to speak, to say a few words. Rajana Garu.
Amar has given me only 1 minute, so let me try to finish in 1 minute. Good morning, and really good to see all of you. And congratulations to Honorable Minister, Mr. Jayesh, and entire team on this launch. While it's very, very essential to have a solid policy framework, I strongly believe and feel that Telangana government always differentiates itself in execution. As Amar mentioned, we crossed 62,000 employees yesterday. And I want to tell a brief story about this. I think in 2017, when we met the Honorable Chief Minister, and many of you know we have a major investment in Adibatla campus. And when we were explaining Honorable Chief Minister about our expansion plans, that we want to create the largest development center, and he was very, very happy to know that IT industry employs more than 35% women. And it is very, very good to see Rekha here today, and she is, I think, the first woman chairperson for NASCOM. Then obviously we discussed about safety issues, because at that time Adibatla was the area to be considered. Then he immediately called in front of us that then DGP Mr. Anurag Sharma and Mr. C.V. Anand, at that time Rachakonda was not separated. And he told both DGP and Commissioner that I'll be very, very happy if you can establish a police station next to TCS campus within a week. And of course, it did not happen within a week, but the police made the police station next to TCS campus operational within 2 to 3 weeks. And this kind of personal attention gives you a lot of confidence, a lot of comfort that government of Telangana is always with you. And obviously, on that day I found out that he was a great businessman as well. Then when we were departing after meeting him, and he said, Rajan, I am giving you a police station, but when are you crossing 50,000 people in Hyderabad? So today I am very, very happy to let him know through this platform that we crossed 62,000 employees. So we continue to expand, and Hyderabad will remain as an integral part of TCS growth strategy. Thank you. And on this special occasion, with Honorable Minister's permission, TCS would like to contribute critical care ventilators worth of 2.2 crores to different government hospitals in Telangana. I just want to hand over this letter to Honorable Minister. Thank you.
It's a 2 crore check handed over by Mr. Rajanna to the Honorable Minister. Thank you, Rajanna. Now we move on to the next item, the TSAT ICFAI. Thank you, Rajanna. Now we move on to the next item, the TSAT ICFAI Knowledge Partner MOU. I'd like to invite Mr. Shailesh Reddy, CEO of TSAT, along with Professor J. Mahendra Reddy, Vice Chancellor of ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, and Professor S. Vijay Lakshmi, Registrar, onto the stage. TSAT is an initiative of the Government of Telangana to provide educational services through satellite and online in the areas of agriculture, medicine, competitive exams and